Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Pride Month has ended. Recently for me, probably quite a while ago for all of you, but regardless, Pride Month is a time of celebrating queerness, right? And continuing to fight for more equality and more visibility, and just letting people know that we are here. We are queer and we are loud and proud. But there are a decent amount of queer people who do not share that sentiment. There are some queer people who are against Pride. There are a lot of conservative queers and just queer people that politically align with people who it doesn't make much sense, you know? They politically align with politics and people who go against queerness and our rights to exist, you know, as people with the same rights as they do. I always have a lot to say about that. They always have a lot to say, and I always have a lot to say back. So today, we're going to have a look at what some of the conservative queers have been saying recently. It's been a while since I've made one of these. A bunch of the people who come up in these don't make videos anymore or have just vanished. But there are a few who are still going, still loud and proud about being queer Republicans. And some new people have come to the surface, spreading their anti-queer queerness around. So yeah, today we're going to take a dive into that. But before we get into it, I would like to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Radsack. I appreciate your support so much, and I hope that you enjoy this video. And if anyone else would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month. And I appreciate it greatly. As I said, it's probably well past Pride Month for all of you, and that is because I am currently backlogging a lot of videos because I'm doing a long 10-week travel. And if you want a bunch of videos early, several weeks early, then you have access to that. You can pick through it for just £1 a month. So if you want that, I appreciate it. Okay, anyway, let's get into the video.
Since it's June, I have to make this very clear since a lot of people think that they represent my sexuality. This is not Pride. This is not Pride. This certainly is not Pride. I am not against Pride being a day or being a parade, but what I am against is us turning love is love into we love to have sex. Pride has become a degenerate movement of exclusivity rather than inclusivity. And if we're going to be honest here, Pride has clearly been taken over by radical left-wing activists who have other political goals that really have nothing to do with lesbian or gay equality or even transgender equality. Now, with all of that being said, and us being aware of the current state our community is in, Pride can still serve a purpose. Like it or not, there are still gay men and women in this country who are fearful of being who they are. What Pride should be about is telling those people that it is okay to be who they are and that they can live their lives authentically and freely. Pride should not be about changing the minds of people who disagree with us. It should be about making each one of us strong enough to withstand any potential persecution we may face.
Pride is, yes, about love and empowering ourselves and being proud of being queer, but it is also about sexual liberation. We cannot deny the fact that sexual liberation is a part of Pride. That is a part of Pride. So you can not like it, but it doesn't mean it's not an important part of what Pride is. And also, I'm sorry, but the end there being Pride should be about empowering ourselves to stand up for ourselves against any persecution that we may face. Yes, that is true. You are correct. But saying it shouldn't be about changing the minds of bigots and homophobes is completely false. That is completely incorrect. The first Pride was a protest. Pride exists for, yes, us to be empowered and to feel safe and comfortable and we can stand up for ourselves and have a community. But also it is about being loud. It is about being there and telling people, especially bigots, that we are here and we are not going anywhere. It is about trying to change people's mind. It has always been about that. It is fighting for equality. And like, sure, it's less of a protest than it used to be in a sense, but it is still showing people what we are, how strong we are, and like the fact that we aren't going anywhere and that we deserve to be seen and heard, and we are going to be seen and heard whether you like it or not. It has always been about changing the mind of people who don't agree with us. That's literally the point. That's literally how it started, why it started, and why it's so important. So, this is 4 things people tell me as a gay Republican. You're a traitor to your people. My people does not equal my sexuality. Republicans hate you. And then like an article saying, majority of Republicans support same-sex marriage. Did they pick you yet? Yes, lol, they're very kind to me. You must hate yourself. Nope, I love myself, which is why I stand up for my values. Okay, Evan. No, your people aren't your sexuality. Sure, your friendship circle and your politics and whatever can be about more than your sexuality. However, because of your sexuality, you should be able to empathize with other people who are also queer. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the point. It's kind of the point of like, you're betraying your people because going against queer rights is like, yes, a betrayal to yourself, but also more of a betrayal to other queer people who do not share the privilege of being a cis white man. You know, like as a part of the like queer food chain, you as a cis gay white man do kind of sit at the top, you know? And so like you're kind of throwing everyone else under the bus. So like, yes, your people does include queer people. Like, it's not everything. You don't have to be like all connected and only associate yourself with queer people, but you should be able to empathize with other queer people and why they might be upset with your political standing. You know? Like, it's really not that hard to figure out. And like Republicans supporting gay marriage, again, that's not the entirety of queer people. For one, that doesn't include like trans people. It doesn't include a lot of queer people. And also not everyone. Again, like most Republicans support gay marriage. Okay. But like practically all liberals and leftists do. As far as I'm aware, you can't really consider yourself at least a leftist without supporting queer marriage. Republicans love you because, as I said, you are at the top of the queer food chain. You are very easily able to be like the token gay because you are a cis white man and you are able to politically align yourself with them. So they can be like, see, I don't hate gay people because I like this guy. I like this guy, so like I'm allowed to be homophobic to everyone else because like I clearly don't actually hate gay people. They would turn around and stab you in the back so fast. And like, sure, not all Republicans, people who are more like center right might be more willing to like accept you, but like a lot of them are not, and they would shove you under the bus so fast, just like you shove the rest of us under the bus. It's a thing that could happen, and it would happen given the chance. Happy Pride Month. Friendly reminder, being gay is not a personality. Hey, you know what else isn't a personality? Being a gay Republican. And yet, here we are. Being gay isn't a personality in the same way that being straight isn't a personality. But like, do you sit here and tell straight people that when they sit around and talk about like their like romantic interests in their sex lives? Probably not. You're probably not sitting there and being like, guys, being straight isn't a personality. You kind of just accept that as like normal conversation. So I don't know why you, as a gay man, think that when people are doing the exact same thing, but about being queer, that it's suddenly a problem. Being straight's not a personality, being gay is not a personality, sure. But like, I'm allowed to express my queerness and surround myself by queer people because we understand each other in a different way. And I just am queer, you know? I'm gonna talk about being queer because that's like part of who I am as a person, just like straight people are gonna talk about being straight because they're straight, you know? Like it kind of, we all kind of talk about that shit regardless. Why would any queer person support Republicans? 1, nobody is coming for gay marriage. Being gay is a sexuality, not a political ideology. I care more about the price of groceries than rhetoric. Victim mentality, yuck. Victim mentality, thumbs up. Life was way better under Trump. Wake up. The Democratic Party doesn't own queer people. Sure, no one is coming for gay marriage right now, but that's not even entirely true. Actually, like, maybe a majority of Republicans aren't coming for gay marriage. So some conservative, like Republicans, will refuse to marry gay people. They're fighting for the right to not have to do that. There was a bill overturned last year where people are allowed to discriminate against queer people in like places of business. Like, that is something that happened, and that is something that happened due to Republicans and by Republican lawmakers. Like, maybe they're not coming for gay marriage, but like they kind of are. Like, it doesn't matter that it's a majority that aren't. There's enough of them that want to, that align with you politically, that you should not want to align with them. You know what I mean? Like, there's not very many on the other side that are trying to come for any queer rights. Like, no leftists, and I'm sure very, very few liberals. I don't think you can really classify yourself as liberal if you're against queer rights. However, we obviously know that that's not true. I think that you shouldn't be able to align yourself over there with those, but whatever. Many, many more Republicans are homophobic, is what I'm getting at. And you're aligning yourself with them. Like, being gay is a sexuality, not a political ideology. Like, again, I mean, you are correct. However, like we said, you're throwing other queer people under the bus by aligning yourself with people who are, in fact, homophobic and trying to take away our rights in some form of another. Like, gay marriage isn't the end-all be-all, you know? Like, so many people, and this goes for, like, misogyny too. So many people are like, well, the gays have marriage now, so we're all equal. Well, women have the vote now, so we're all equal. That's not how this works. Even if we had completely equal legal rights, that doesn't take away from social oppression. That doesn't take away from social discrimination. Like, discrimination and oppression still exist whether or not the laws align, and they don't even align. Like, it's still not legally equivalent. And a lot of those laws are due to Republicans, you know what I mean? Like, they hold more of the homophobia than anyone else does. And yes, like, the Democratic Party don't own gay people. Democratic Party are also shit. They're all shit. Both sides here are bad. And we agree Biden is trash. Yeah, absolutely. Do I think he should be president? No. No, I don't. Do I think Trump should be president? Absolutely not. I think that we need new candidates. I think we need a new party. I say we, I'm not American. I think you need new candidates and a new party because it's fucked. It's all shit. They're all homophobic. They're all misogynistic. They're all conservative. Like, both political parties in the States are more conservative than any political party in any other country. Like, your liberal party, your Democrats, Joe Biden, are like more conservative than the conservative parties elsewhere. Like, it's quite astounding how these people are here, like, the Democrat, Joe Biden is a raging leftist, he's so liberal. In what world do you live in? What world do you live in? Not this one. Clearly, you don't know the meaning of liberal or left because Joe Biden is very conservative. The Democrats definitely don't own queer people. You are correct. And queer people aren't big fans of the Democrats, at least in the circle that I run in. You know, I'm not a liberal, I'm a leftist, and we don't like Biden either. And I don't think life was better under Trump either. This is the thing with, like, I care about the price of groceries more than I care about rhetoric. Well, I don't think grocery prices are going to change under Trump either. Like, that is a thing that's happening worldwide. Grocery prices, inflation, cost of living, that is an issue everywhere. We've been under a conservative government here in the UK for the past almost 5 years, and prior to that too. I don't know when the last time Labour was in party. I only moved here 5 years ago. But we've been under the Conservative Party, and since I moved here, I have watched groceries increase exponentially. Cost of living has increased exponentially in the years that I have lived here under a conservative government, because this is a global issue. I promise, shit's not gonna change no matter who is running your country. Like, it should change, but it's not going to. It's definitely not going to under Trump. And you definitely should care about rhetoric more than the price of groceries when it comes to just like your ability to exist. And I understand that grocery prices do in fact impact that, and that is a lot of people's livelihoods, and it impacts everyone very negatively. I think that people under both parties care about that issue. That's the thing, right? So I think you should care more about like rhetoric and like queer rights, because people on every side care about grocery prices, you know? Like that's something we all want to fix. Okay, and then I found this guy, and his TikToks are so long. I tried going through some of his TikToks. He has so many TikToks, and they're all about being a conservative queer, right? And they're so long. Every single TikTok he has is 3 minutes. And like, you know what? I relate to that because my videos are also full of me just rambling. So I'm going to interrupt him a bunch because he talks a lot. Anyway.
Hi. So this is my son's school. And
the school she's referring to is a school in Canada who is celebrating Pride, and it is a primary school, and they have like rainbows and flags, and they're doing like a Pride Day. Anyway, let's hear what this man has to say about it.
So I just watched your video, and there's a few things that I'm sorry, I disagree with wholeheartedly. One of them is that you said that it was targeted towards children, everything was age appropriate. I didn't even know there was a drag queen there. That makes the thing so much worse because drag performers are inherently sexual, regardless of how you want to split that.
I don't think so. Drag performers are literally not inherently sexual. Like, yes, a lot of like drag performances are like explicit and they are aimed towards adults. That is true. However, drag can just be a form of expression in how you are dressing. It's about the makeup, it's about the hair, it's about the outfits, whatever. It does not have to be a drag show performance for a drag queen to be there. If there is a drag queen who is just teaching children, reading to kids, playing with kids, like that sort of thing, there is nothing sexual about that at all. Like, at all. It's like, I just don't understand how you can make that inherently sexual. Drag is just a form of art and how someone is presenting themselves. And it's so fascinating to hear people say that that's inherently sexual. Like, how? Please explain it to me. Just tell me how drag is inherently sexual. Just tell me.
Now, the other concern I have is when you bring the LGBT community into anything, you are talking about a sexual identity. You are talking about who you go home with and bump uglies in your bedroom with. Why do children have to be involved in that whole conversation?
What? If you think that's all Pride is, that's all like being queer is it's only about who you're sleeping with. That's the only thing being gay is. It's not about love. It's not about gender expression. It's not about just existing as yourself and accepting the people around you. It's only about sex, and children shouldn't be talking about sex. I mean, yeah, we shouldn't be bringing like kink to school and talking about like sex at school in a way that isn't educational at like age appropriate levels. But we're not. That's not what's happening. You're just celebrating being different. And there are kids who have like queer parents and other children might not know what that means or understand it. So then it's telling kids like, yeah, some people have 2 moms or 2 dads, and that's okay. Some people feel this way. It's okay to love who you want to love. Like, it's not about sex. And it's weird that you're thinking about it and that you are taking being queer and making it just about who you sleep with, because that's just not true.
You as a parent should be teaching your children to be inclusive and to have tolerance of people that are different than them. Not a teacher. You as the parent. So this to me seems like lazy parenting.
Sure. I mean, you are correct. Parents should be teaching their kids tolerance. Parents should be teaching their kids equality and love and kindness. But unfortunately, some parents aren't. And yes, that is bad parenting. But some people are bad parents. Some parents are homophobic. Some parents are bigoted. And so the school exists to fill the gaps that kids don't get at home. And that includes teaching and preaching acceptance and equality. And it's making sure kids aren't getting bullied, and it's making sure kids feel safe. Some kids don't feel that at home. Some kids don't learn about differences, and like they need to. And like, should parents do it? Yes. Do they? No.
And I know you said that it was just fun and it was rainbows, but that's not what gay pride is. Gay pride is inherently sexual, and you cannot negate that by saying that it's fun and it's just rainbows for the kids. Sit one of those children down and ask them the history of gay pride, what it means and what it is today, and I guarantee you half of them, if not most of them, would not be able to give you an honest answer as to what it actually is.
Okay, well, firstly, going back to the like pride is inherently sexual and it's all about sex thing. I would love to see you go tell Clarkson that. The guy from the first video, go tell him, because he said exactly the opposite. He said pride isn't about sex. Being gay isn't about sex, it's about who I love. And you're here saying pride is entirely about sex. Being gay is entirely about sex. That's all it is. I'd love to hear you have a conversation. I would really like to see that happen. And like, the point of pride for children is not for them to know the whole history. That's not what this is. It's about freedom of expression. It's about acceptance. It's about tolerance. It is about having fun and knowing that you can be yourself and you can have fun and you can love people and people can love you. That's literally it. They can learn about the history later because that is important, but like, they don't need to know the deep, in-depth history right now. They can get like the short answer. They can know a little bit because it's important to know a bit of history, but like, I'm not going to tell a 6-year-old the full history of like Stonewall and hate crimes and like the AIDS epidemic. I'm not telling a 6-year-old all of that in immense detail because they're not going to grasp that. That's for them to learn later on. They can get like the age appropriate explanation for it now. And for now, pride can just be about tolerance and love and fun and rainbows because that's what kids understand, and that's how they can learn to love each other, you know?
They might regurgitate what adults have taught them what it is, but that's not what gay pride is. And come on, we're adults, we know this.
I don't know what you're saying, because what you're saying is ridiculous. Because pride is not entirely about sex. And if you are sexualizing pride at a primary school, that is on you. That's on you.
And why can't the school teach diversity and inclusion without involving the LGBT community? Because like I said, you cannot involve the LGBT community without involving sex because it's a sexual identity.
I don't know what this is about your straight obsession with just queerness being nothing but sex. Maybe you are aromantic. Maybe you don't experience romantic attraction, and that's fine, but you don't need to project that on everyone, especially not children. The reason, as I said before, is because people are queer and they exist, and kids need to know that, and kids need to know that it's okay to be different, because kids just need to know that it's okay to be different, that they are allowed to love and accept themselves. And if they don't get that at home, to know that they can get that elsewhere. They deserve to feel safe, they deserve to feel loved, they deserve to feel accepted, and they should do the same for others. That's why we need to involve queerness in conversations about equality and inclusion, because it's important for everyone. And we would have a lot less homophobes if they experienced this at school as well. Oh, and also it's about more than just sexuality too, right? It's also about like gender. That's another thing. And I know that you probably disagree with gender ideology as well. But it is more than sexual identity. It's also romantic identities, and it is also gender. And you know, like it's all of that. So
like, it's not that complicated to understand. Well, maybe it is for some people. So I don't get it. I don't get parents like this. you as the parent, like I said, should be teaching your children to be inclusive and to understand that not everyone's the same and not everyone likes the same things. You don't need to bring in the LGBT community again, which is sexual, because it's about who you do the ugly with in your bedroom. That's what being gay and lesbian is about, right? Like, I feel like people just too easily skip over what it actually is to be gay. Like, there's no difference between me and a straight person except for the fact that I do the ugly with another man, they do it with a woman. Like, I feel like people just remove that, and that's literally what it's about. So to bring that into a school is depraved, regardless of how you want to split it. I'm sorry. It just is. As a gay man, I'm saying.
And I'm just saying you need to reevaluate and think more about what your sexuality is and what it actually means. And about how pride for children isn't even necessarily about them being gay, but about their peers being gay and their parents being gay and other people in their lives being gay. And that's okay. They don't need to know about sex, right? Like, it doesn't have to come into play. It just doesn't. Anyway, with that, I think I'm going to end this video here. I hope that you did enjoy. A lot to say, a lot has been said. I think in summary, have empathy. Pride is not just about sex, but it is also not about sex. It's about everything. I think we can all agree on that. Everyone is different, but we should all love and care about each other. And we should all have a safe space where we feel like we belong. I think ultimately that's the takeaway from this video. Yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed. I think I already said that. But please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I am here every few days and I would love to see you again soon. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. I appreciate you greatly. And a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Bobby, Josh, Mandy, Ixel, Jessica, Eldo, Danielle, Elias, Chris, Samuel, Radsack, Mr. Noodle, Jonathan, and Bonbon. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat. Click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos quite early. And for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah. When you close your eyes, you